Hello everybody, welcome back to the shop at the F-14. Yesterday I laid up the speed brakes and all that fun stuff. Here you can see I've got those out of the molds and all cut out and trimmed to shape. The glossy brown stuff you see is actually backing for some double-sided tape. It's just like a real thin indoor-outdoor carpet tape. And that's what I'm going to use to hold this stuff into the fuselage molds for the flange. The fuselage molds are already primed, so this is actually going to stick straight to the paint. And then they'll come out with the part, and then I'll just pop these out and trim it off and all that fun stuff. So yeah, that's basically where I'm at with this stuff. I also went ahead and laid up a set of gear doors. Get those over there. See, here's nose gear door and the right main landing gear doors all in the vac and bag and curing. I just got these done about an hour ago, maybe a little more. So I'll leave this stuff overnight and then we'll pull it out in the morning or tomorrow afternoon. The other one's in the bag as well, so I've got all three gear doors done. My buddy Don out in San Diego was wondering what Frekote was. I mentioned it a couple of times in previous videos. I think I've even showed you guys what it was once or twice. It's basically a 2 or 3 part system depending on how you want to use it. What I have here is I have Frekote FMS, which is a mold sealer, and then here I've got Frekote 770 NC, which is the actual release agent. And then I have another gallon tub of a Frekote PMC, which is a mold cleaner. And basically all that stuff is acetone, toluene, and one other chemical. And it's just kind of a specialized mixture of whatever ratios they use. Since these parts are fresh out of the vacuum bag, and they've been peel applied and all that stuff, and I've come down and I've hit them with some 220 paper to just kind of smooth everything out. The back side of this, that's going to actually contact the layup. I want to seal this stuff, that way it'll peel off nice and easily. So first thing I'll do is just get some mold sealer for the Frekote FMS. If you notice, I keep this stuff in a plastic bag, and this stuff's not quite as susceptible to moisture, but it still is. But here on the mold release can, I have the date that I purchased it and the date that I opened the can. You want to try and use this stuff within a year. Once the vacuum pump's done, basically all I'm doing is I'm just taking the mold sealer and just cut up t-shirt fragment. And I'm just soaking that t-shirt and then I'm wiping this stuff on the back side of the part. Where when you look at it, there's a nice sheen of sealer on there. When I go to do this again, if I have to do it again, for something like the servo hatches in the wing, instead of putting steel ply down, I just put a straight plastic with no holes in it, and that'll give you a nice smooth surface to begin with. And then you don't have to do any sanding or any of that stuff to it. I put 3 coats on here. You see, I'm just going back to back to back. Once you get this rag a little saturated, you don't have to fill it up quite so much. I just hit it every other round or every round or so. Alright, now it's time for the mold sealer. Now you want to let this stuff sit for about 15 to 20 minutes. That way it gives that sealer enough time to evaporate off and to soak in as well. Then, after that is done and soaked in and your 15 minutes or whatever is up with, you want to take your Frekote, the 770C, the mold release. You want to put a coat on, let it sit for 5 minutes, put another coat on, let it sit for 5 minutes, and put another coat on, and then let it sit for 20 minutes before you do any layups on it. But basically, once you do the sealer, or you clean the mold, then you do the sealer, and then you do the mold release. That's really all there is. You can let the mold sit there for 6 months or a year or whatever, and really not ever do a layup on it, and never have to recover or reapply the mold release. Granted, if you let it sit for a year, you probably want to reapply it anyway, just for peace of mind. So that's basically it for the Frekote mold release. I let this stuff sit for about 15 minutes. I'll pop the video back up and we'll continue on. Alright, welcome back. Like I said, now that we got the parts sealed, it's just a matter of doing the Frekote mold release. Again, all you do is you just soak a rag. Again, it's just an old t-shirt. Then you wipe this stuff on. If this was like a nice glossy, if it's just a nice glossy mold surface, you would wipe it right back off again. But since this stuff is a little textured still, I'm just going to wipe it on 3 times and leave it. So once I get these parts done, I can start, I can put them in the molds, and then I can start working on laying up the fuselage. And then after that, well, I gotta make templates for all the fiberglass parts, or the fiberglass layers, carbon stuff, for the top of the fuselage and the bottom and all that. I went ahead and made the templates for the gear door, the fiberglass, or the paper templates for the fiberglass layers on the gear doors and the carbon. These particular parts for the layers, I just cut a big square or triangle out or whatever and put it there. There's no reason to cut out a nice exact fit template, but I might try and do that anyway. At least on the top part, I may actually just use the plastic core templates for the fiberglass layer templates, and then try and do a set of speed brakes like that. That way I don't have to sit there and trim this thing with an X-Acto knife to that weird, that crazy shape that it has. Alright, there you go. That's Frekote. Now I'll sit there and I'll let this stuff sit for, like I said, 20 minutes. So it's 6:45 now. So really by 7:05, I could be laying up a fuselage if I wanted to, but I got a lot of stuff I gotta do before I get there. I gotta figure out exactly where I want the carbon and all that stuff to go. And gotta take the top mold halves off. I'll probably do that back half for the fuselage first, just because it's going to be the easiest. It's a lot less surface area. It's something I can do on my own. Then when I get that done, I'll start working on that forward part. So until next time, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you back here in the shop.